You think you know heartbreak? You think you know betrayal? If you have been watching Darcey Silva for the last 4 years, you might think you have seen it all. We watched her cry over Jesse Meester, the man who tried to control every breath she took. We watched her get manipulated by Tom Brooks, the man who asked if she had put on weight. We have seen the tears, the desperate pleas for love, and the endless cycle of men who just wanted their 15 minutes of fame. But what if I told you that everything you have seen so far, every fight, every insult, every dramatic exit was child's play compared to what is happening right now? What if Jesse and Tom were just mean, but the man currently sleeping in Darcey's bed is legally dangerous? We need to talk about Georgi Rusev. He was supposed to be the different one, the calm one, the healer. He came in as the masseuse with the soulful eyes and the quiet demeanor. A stark contrast to the loud chaotic energy of Darcey's exes. But there is a saying that you need to remember right now. Still waters run deep. And in Georgi's case, those waters might be hiding a wreckage that could end Darcey's career and get him deported. We aren't just talking about a bad breakup here. We aren't talking about him texting another girl or being on a dating app. We are investigating the explosive reports of a secret wife, a hidden baby, and a DNA nightmare that allegedly caused a violent off-camera altercation that TLC refused to air. Imagine this scenario. A woman in Bulgaria holding a 3-year-old child watching clips of Darcey and Stacey on YouTube, realizing that the man she is legally married to, the father of her child, is on American television proposing to another woman. Imagine the DM that lands in Darcey's inbox late at night, shattering her reality. Today, we are not just recapping an episode. We are peeling back the layers of the most sophisticated con in 90-day fiancé history. Is Georgi Rusev the new summit? Is he living a double life that spans 2 continents? Buckle up because we are diving deep into the silence, the smashed phones, and the secrets that might just destroy the Silva twins for good. Before we open the files on this investigation, I need you to do something for me. If you are tired of the filtered, edited version of the truth that the network feeds you, and you want the raw, deep dives that connect the dots no one else is talking about, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications and smash the like button if you think Darcey deserves to know the truth. Welcome to the Tell All Tapes, your only source for the reality behind reality TV. Now, let's expose the lies. Let's start from the beginning with what I call the phantom past. To understand the lie, you have to understand the foundation it was built on. Think back to when Georgi was first introduced to us. He appeared out of nowhere. Usually, when a new cast member is introduced, especially the partner of a returning star like Darcey, we get a backstory. We see photos of their childhood. We hear about their friends. We get a sense of who they were before the cameras started rolling. Compare Georgi to Florian. We know Florian's history. We know about his life in Albania. We've seen the pictures. We understand his context. But Georgi's history is a black hole. It is a void. If you went to his social media back in 2018 or 2019, it was scrubbed. There were no photos of his life in Bulgaria. Why would a young aspiring model and massage therapist have zero digital footprint from his home country? Usually, people in that industry document everything. The theory here is simple, but disturbing. The blank slate wasn't an aesthetic choice. It was a necessity. If you were trying to build a new life in America while running away from responsibilities back home, the first thing you do is delete the evidence. You erase the tagged photos. You hide the location data and you present yourself as a man without a past so that no one can ask questions about who you left behind. Then there is the issue of the divorce. Do you remember the early conversations between Darcey and Georgi? He dropped a casual bombshell that he was going through a divorce when they met. At the time, Darcey brushed it off because she was so desperate for this to work. She focused on romance, not the red tape. But let us analyze that timeline. He claimed he was separated, but for how long? And more importantly, where was the paperwork? International divorce is not like getting divorced in Las Vegas. It is a bureaucratic nightmare, especially involving Eastern European legal systems. It is notoriously difficult to verify divorce records from Bulgaria if you are in the United States without a private investigator. The suspicion here is dark. Did he ever actually file the papers or did he just leave? There is a massive legal difference between I am separated from my wife and I have abandoned my family to start a new life on a visa. If he never legally filed for divorce in Bulgaria, then every moment he spends planning a wedding with Darcey is a fraud. It means his K-1 visa application or whatever status he is adjusting to is based on a lie. And why does he never have money? This has been a running joke on the show. Georgi the freeloader. Georgi using Darcey's credit cards. Georgi the sugar baby. But let's look at it through a conspiracy lens. It's not just that he doesn't work. It's that maybe the little money he does make or the money he siphons from Darcey is disappearing for a reason. If you are a man supporting a secret household back in Bulgaria, a wife who is keeping your secret and a child who needs support, that money has to go somewhere. It explains why he is financially drained in America despite living rent-free. He isn't just buying expensive socks. He might be paying hush money to keep his past from crashing into his present. The moocher narrative is a convenient cover. It makes him look lazy, which is forgivable in reality TV. But if he is actually a provider sending remittances to a hidden family, that makes him calculated. It changes the genre of this story from a romantic comedy to a crime thriller. This brings us to the inciting incident, the moment that takes this from a theory to a potential scandal. We call this the Maria leak. Now, keep in mind in the world of reality TV leaks, names are often changed to protect identities. So, for the sake of this investigation, we will call the source Elena. According to insider reports and rumors swirling in the deepest corners of the N90-day forums, Darcey received a direct message that changed everything. Visually, imagine a notification popping up on an iPhone screen at 2 a.m. It's an anonymous request. Darcey accepts it. The message is short, broken English, and devastating. The email allegedly reads, "He is not yours. We are still married by Bulgarian Orthodox law. He told me he went to America to build a future for us and our son. Now I see him on TV with you. Let that sink in. He told me he went to America to build a future for us." This is a common story in immigrant communities. One partner goes ahead to establish a foothold to get the visa to make the money and then sends for the family. It is a noble sacrifice. But in this narrative, Georgi didn't send for them. He replaced them. Let's look at the timeline of this alleged betrayal. The report suggests the child mentioned in the DM is around 3 years old. If we do the math, working backward from the current season, a 3-year-old child would have been born right before Georgi met Darcey or perhaps during the very early stages of his time in the US. This aligns terrifyingly well with his separation story. Did he leave Bulgaria because his wife was pregnant? Did he panic? Or did he leave with a promise to return only to get a taste of reality TV fame and decide that Darcey Silva was a faster ticket to the American dream than hard work? The emotional angle here is gut-wrenching. Paint the picture in your mind of a woman waiting in a small village or a neighborhood in Sofia. She hasn't heard from her husband in months. He stops answering calls. He stops replying to texts. She assumes he is working hard, maybe double shifts at a spa, saving up for their reunion. And then one day, she sees a clip on social media. She sees her husband, the father of her child, feeding strawberries to a blonde woman in Connecticut talking about soulmates. The humiliation, the rage, the ghosting narrative mentioned in the alleged email claims Georgi stopped responding to her exactly 6 months prior to the DM. That timeline aligns perfectly with when he moved in with Darcey. He had to cut ties to keep the lie alive. You can't be FaceTiming your secret wife while Darcey is hovering over your shoulder. He had to go dark. But secrets have a way of surfacing. And this leads us into the most psychological part of this saga. Paranoia and the hair follicle. We all know Darcey. We know she spirals. We know she gets anxious. The internet loves to mock her for being insecure, for crying over nothing, for needing constant validation. But what if this time her spiraling wasn't insecurity? What if it was intuition? What if she's right? There is an insider rumor that suggests Darcey received this DM weeks before the drama played out on screen, but she was too scared to tell the producers. She was terrified of looking like a fool again. She didn't want to be the woman who got duped by another man, so she kept it quiet. But watch the clips from the recent season again. Look at her eyes when Georgi is talking. Look at the way she checks his phone when he leaves the room. That isn't just jealousy. That is a woman hunting for proof. She isn't asking, "Do you love me?" She is asking silently, "Who are you?" This paranoia allegedly led to an extraction mission that sounds like something out of a spy movie. The rumor is that Darcey couldn't simply ask Georgi for a paternity test regarding this alleged child in Bulgaria. He would deny it. He would gaslight her. He would storm off. She needed biological proof. The story goes that while Georgi was in the shower, or perhaps while he was out of the gym, Darcey went into his toiletries bag. She wasn't looking for another woman's number. She was looking for DNA. She allegedly took a hairbrush or maybe a toothbrush, something with his genetic markers on it. Why? Because there are private labs and even international registries where you can check paternity if you have the raw data. Or perhaps in her desperation, she simply wanted to hold on to it as leverage, a physical piece of him that she could control while he was spinning lies. This brings us to the reaction. Georgi isn't stupid. He knows Darcey. He notices her acting weird. He sees her hovering. And this is where the dynamic shifts from a bad relationship to psychological warfare. Instead of comforting her, instead of asking, "Baby, what's wrong?" Georgi turns the tables. He attacks. "You are crazy. You are drunk. You are seeing things. We have seen this on the show." He dismisses her valid concerns as hallucinations brought on by alcohol or insecurity. But if the secret wife theory is true, this isn't just him being a jerk. This is a survival tactic. It is classic gaslighting. If he can convince Darcey that she is losing her mind, she won't trust her own investigation. If he can convince the audience and the producers that Darcey is just being Darcey, then no one will look for the woman in Bulgaria. He is hiding his secret behind her reputation. He is using her emotional instability as a shield to protect his double life. Think about the nights where Darcey seems incoherent or overly emotional. Is it just the wine? Or is it the crushing weight of knowing something she can't prove? Is it the stress of sleeping next to a stranger? When Georgi tells her she is sabotaging the relationship, he is projecting. He is the one with the sabotage in his back pocket, a marriage license he never voided, and a child he left behind. The tension in that house isn't about love. It's about a ticking time bomb. And the countdown is getting louder. We have arrived at the breaking point. The tension we have been tracking, the paranoia, the gaslighting, the secret emails, it all has to go somewhere. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only changes form. And in the case of Georgi and Darcey, that emotional energy transformed into a physical explosion that the cameras conveniently missed. We are talking about the smashed phone and the fight. To understand what really happened that night, we have to look into the darkness where the production lights don't reach. Reality TV crews are not there 24 hours a day. They have union breaks. They have shift changes. There are hours in the middle of the night, usually after a long day of filming and drinking, where the cast is left alone with their microphones off. This is when the real horror stories happen. Let's set the scene. It is late. The crew is packed up for the night. Darcey and Georgi are back in their apartment or hotel room. The air is thick with the arguments they had bounds earlier in the day. Darcey is on edge. She is holding her phone, scrolling, waiting, her mind racing back to that anonymous message from Elena. And then it happens. Her phone buzzes. It isn't just a text. It is a follow-up. According to the timeline of these rumors, this wasn't just words this time. It was a photo. A photo of a child who shares Georgie's eyes, his nose, and his chin. A child standing in a room that looks nothing like America. Georgie hears the buzz. He knows that sound. He sees the light hit Darcey's face. He sees her eyes go wide, her breath hitch. In that split second, the predator instinct kicks in. He knows that if she sees that photo, if she downloads it, if she screenshots it, his life is over. The calm Georgie, the healer Georgie, vanishes. Panic sets in. A man with nothing to hide asks, "Who is texting you this late?" A man with a secret life to protect destroys the evidence. The rumor that has been circulating in the deepest insider circles is that Georgi lunged. He allegedly grabbed the phone from her hands. We have heard stories of phone smashing before in this franchise, but this was different. He didn't just throw it, he smashed it against the wall or perhaps the floor with a force that was meant to obliterate the hard drive. The excuse later, the one he mumbled to the producers the next morning, was that he was tired of her checking up on him. He claimed he felt suffocated. He spun the narrative that Darcey was obsessed with his location, that she was tracking him, and he snapped out of frustration. It is a plausible cover story. It fits the crazy Darcey narrative perfectly. But look at the physics of the situation. You don't destroy an expensive iPhone because you are annoyed. You destroy it because it contains a digital fingerprint of your fraud. You smash it because if that photo gets airdropped to Stacey or sent to a producer or leaked to TMZ, your visa is revoked. If that photo got out, his show contract is voided for moral turpitude or fraud. His relationship is dead. He wasn't smashing a phone. He was trying to kill the truth. And where was the crew? Why wasn't this aired? This is the conspiracy of the silence. Production teams are smart. They know when a line has been crossed. If they didn't capture the smash itself, they certainly captured the aftermath. They would have walked in the next morning to see the holes in the wall, the shattered glass, the swollen eyes. But they chose not to focus on the cause. They focused on the reaction. They framed the entire sequence as Darcey had too much to drink and got emotional. They protected the season's storyline because a domestic dispute involving a secret family is too dark, too complicated, and legally too risky for the network to touch without proof. They swept the shards of glass under the rug and kept the cameras rolling on the love story. But while Darcey was being gaslit into silence, someone else was watching. Someone who has never trusted Georgi from the moment he stepped out of that black SUV. We are entering the investigation phase with Chapter 5. Stacey and Florian's covert op. If Darcey is the heart of the show, Stacey is the gut. And her gut told her that something about the phone incident didn't add up. Stacey knows her sister. She knows Darcey gets emotional, but she also knows Darcey doesn't make up specific lies about babies in Bulgaria out of thin air. Stacey smelled a rat. Stacey realizes that she cannot get the truth from Georgi. He is a stone wall. He lies with a straight face. So she turns to the weak link in the chain. She turns to the one person who might have the keys to the kingdom, Florian. We need to talk about Florian. For years, we have looked at Florian as the quiet, somewhat vacant sidekick. We remember his facial expressions. We laugh at his "yes, my angel" responses. But we forget something crucial. Florian is also Bulgarian. He speaks the language. He knows the culture. He knows the geography. And most importantly, men talk. There is a bro code that exists between these guys. They are the outsiders. They are the Eastern European men dealing with the Silva twins. It is inevitable that they have had private conversations in Bulgarian when the microphones were off. Conversations about home, conversations about their past, conversations about the women they left behind. The deep dive theory here is that Florian looks guilty constantly, not because of his own cheating scandals, though those are real, but because he is carrying the weight of Georgi's secret. Does Florian know the wife? It is entirely possible. Bulgaria is a country, but the social circles, especially among those looking to move to America, can be small. Maybe they are from the same region. Maybe they have mutual friends on Facebook that we can't see. Stacey senses this. She sees Florian shifting his eyes when Georgie's past comes up. She sees the uncomfortable silence. So, she launches her own operation. She issues an ultimatum. This isn't about love anymore. It is about loyalty. She threatens Florian. Tell me the truth or we are done. If you are protecting him, you are betraying me. This puts Florian in an impossible position. If he snitches on Georgie, he violates the code of their friendship and perhaps risks Georgie exposing Florian's own secrets in retaliation. It is a standoff, mutually assured destruction. But Stacey is relentless. She doesn't just rely on Florian cracking. She goes professional. Reports and receipts suggest that Stacey didn't just ask questions. She hired a private investigator and not just a local PI in Connecticut. She allegedly hired a firm specifically in Sofia, Bulgaria. This is where the story turns into a detective novel. Imagine a PI on the ground in Sofia taking the name Georgi Rusev, taking his birth date and walking into the municipal archives. They aren't looking for Instagram likes. They are looking for paper trails. They are checking the civil registry. And the rumor is they found it. They supposedly found a marriage certificate that was never annulled. A piece of paper stamped and signed that proves he is legally bound to another woman. But here is the masterstroke of Stacey's strategy. She didn't run to Darcey.